All right, we are going to break down the strength called harmony. Harmony is what I call the mama bear strength. Now, by the way, this isn't a male-female thing. This is I just call it a mama bear strength because it's like a great way of describing just how hardcore this strength can be if provoked. I want you to think of like a mama bear. I want you to think of a mama bear, playing with her cubs or being around her cubs, just kind of doing her thing, not bothering anybody, just doing her thing. And her baby cubs are just doing their thing and they're playing the way mama bear believes it should. And what happens? Mama bear is being very sweet and kind and so on. But if you poke mama bear or you mess with those cubs, you get a different bear, right? And that's what I've learned about harmony is it's got this mama bear vibe to it. This hat looks kind of weird. See this little point? I promise you my head does not point like this. Anyway, all right, I'm going to stop focusing on that and be here to break down harmony. So I'm going to talk about how can you use harmony? How can you use it to build confidence, build relationships, build a network marketing business or a coaching business? How can you use harmony in a way to build, or how about this, get consistent or structured or organized, right? I like to talk about those three. How do you use harmony to build relationships? Oh, yeah. Also, what is the worst way, the absolute worst way to use harmony? There is a way. It's awful. I'll tell you about that. And also, if you have harmony low, which I do, what do? How do you deal with it that way, right? So I'm going to talk about harmony in all these different ways to help you to unleash the harmony strength within you and start helping other people. There you go. Okay, now let's break down harmony. First, what is the definition of harmony? What Gallup refers to as harmony, I'm going to kind of paraphrase. Gallup refers to harmony as people that are high in harmony. I don't know I can't remember what the actual description of harmony is. It's low for me. But the way I see it, the way I interpret harmony, oh, hello, Belinda, is people that care about how things should flow, right? So people of high harmony see things flowing a certain way and they're like, it should flow that way or it shouldn't flow that way, right? That's one of the differences between adaptability and harmony. I'm gonna just kind of give you that breakdown real quick to help you understand harmony a little bit better. If you were walking in the woods and you saw a river flowing from left to right and you had adaptability high, you would say, all right, that river is flowing the way it should and I'm gonna just go ahead and go with it, go with the flow, right? I'm not gonna ask to change it and so on. If you have harmony high and you walk up to the river, you'll look at the river and go, okay, I can see the river is flowing left to right, but should it? Does it benefit the people that it's supposed to benefit? Are there people downstream that it's benefiting? Or are there people over here that need it? And so the person of high harmony would say, this river, I can see it flowing, but it's flowing the wrong way. It should flow this way. And they would reverse it, right? That's harmony. Harmony wants to be in charge of how things should. And when I say flow, it's an energetic strength. Whatever flow means to you. Like, how should a conversation sound between two people who are trying to find common ground, right? Harmony, people of high harmony are also really good at seeing both sides of any argument. They can ultimately go, well, I understand your point, and I totally understand your point, and I know that things should flow where both of you get what you both want. And so that's kind of the idea. Harmony is really cares and wants to be in control of how things should flow. This is one of the reasons why I call it the mama bear strength. For example, if a mama, for example, a mom, okay, ma'am, goes to a park with her kids and her kids are playing in the park, she'll be chill and calm because why? Because kids should play at the park. But as soon as someone starts messing with those kids, mama gets angry and jumps up and starts getting rage and anger and frustrated, right? And she'll get in people's faces. And it's because things aren't flowing the way they should. Belinda has adaptability at 1 and harmony at 6. There you go, right? So that's like a simultaneous, like I can work with things flowing the way they are, but I also want to be in charge of it flowing differently to when I feel like it should. The word should is why I call harmony a judgy strength and adaptability an accepting strength. People of high harmony judge how things should flow. Right? If it's not flowing that way, they get frustrated or they run away. This is one of the reasons why people of high harmony tend to not want to be around conflict because things shouldn't flow that way, right? I also call harmony an energetic strength because it's a feel, it's a vibe. They can be in a room of two people having a conversation, and they'll be able to tell you how that conversation is going and how it should go without even really knowing what's happening. He or she can just feel it, hear it, and so on. But harmony is also an internal strength, which means it's about how the person with harmony believes things should flow. So that's kind of some general overviews of what harmony is. So let's talk about how to use it to build confidence. Belinda says, very uncomfortable with conflict. Yeah. And that doesn't make you weak. It just means, by the way, Belinda, I really want to hammer this home for you because I'm feeling called to mention this to you right now. Belinda, I don't know you personally, but if you have harmony and adaptability, I know what you deal with, and it's this. It's thinking that your uncomfortableness with conflict means some kind of weakness. And I promise you, it's not that at all. It's just a sensitivity to it. It means that you can feel it. You can feel it the moment it starts veering off from how it should. And I mean by it, whatever it is. You know, a relationship, a conversation, a game, whatever, right? A movie. As soon as something veers off from the way it should, you are sensitive to it. And it doesn't mean that you're weak. What it means is that you're good at spotting it before it gets out of control, right? So you can say, hey, let's just kind of stop for a second and pay attention. Is this how we, okay, Belinda, here you go. This is a script for you. Is this how we want this to flow? Belinda, does that help? Hopefully that helps. So how you build confidence, I want to talk about this. How you build confidence with harmony is you get good at understanding and accepting that it's not a weakness that you're uncomfortable with how things flow or when it's not flowing the right way. It's that you're simply sensitive to it. And that means like you have an early warning signal. Oh my gosh, speaking of flow, let's give an example. We had a tank, not a tankless, but we had a water heater in our house, like break down twice within a 6-month period and flood a part of our basement. And it ruined carpet, ruined some drywall. It cost us a couple $1,000s. What I would have liked to have something down there to recognize that things aren't flowing the way they should early, and it would have saved us a ton of money, Belinda. Do you understand what I mean? That's harmony, right? And like you can early warning signal how things flowing. And so what you get to do to build confidence, remember, I've talked about this before. I'll talk about it again. We don't build confidence by staring into a mirror and telling ourselves we're good. That's not how you build confidence. How you build confidence is you try things. You share something. And with harmony, it's teach something. Teach somebody or something or someone how you believe things should flow. Teach them the benefit. Share an experience, right? Here's how you build confidence. Share an experience of a time when you ignored how things were flowing and you didn't say anything and something bad happened. And so you let people know, I believe things should flow this way and here's why. But before you share that, just FYI, because it's a judgy strength, always ask people, would you like to hear something that I think would help? The confidence where I'm not strong, right? So this is my forte, right? This is my forte. It's using our strengths to build confidence. But remember, confidence, once again, is not built by looking in the mirror and going, you're amazing. Although you are, Belinda. What we need to do is create experiences for you or anybody where you see evidence of your impact, right? It's consciously going, I'm going to use my harmony strength to help so-and-so learn how things should flow so that they can make a good, energetic, and practical decision to change the way they do things to help things flow better for them. Boom, that's it. And when you consciously say, I'm going to do those things, and you start to see results of that, that's how you build confidence. So first off, give yourself time. Always give yourself time when you're building confidence and practice. Remember, when you have a judgy strength, teach something. When you have an accepting strength, try something. So with adaptability, try something. With harmony, teach something. Okay, I can't go into more detail, but if you're interested, Belinda, I actually have private sessions open right now. So if you're interested, just message me on Facebook. I got you. Okay, I want to move on. So the next piece I want to talk about is how to use harmony to build relationships. Now, this is the simplest way because I've just been spending time talking about it, is that harmony, right? Harmony is about saying this is how friendships should flow. And you come to the relationships honoring that. You stand for that. You share that. Hi, Brenda. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining. So, by the way, Brenda, let me know where harmony is for you. I can't remember from the last time you and I talked. But so harmony, how harmony builds relationships is first go into them with the belief of how they should flow. But remember this golden rule, which I'll bring up later when it comes to the worst way to use harmony. The one golden rule is that's your rule, not theirs, right? But when you stand up for that rule, regardless of what the other person is doing or not doing, you are being your best self and you are becoming someone who is predictable. And predictability in relationships contributes to positive connections. Let me say that again, because that was a really complicated sentence. Predictability in relationships fosters positive connections. It's really hard to connect with somebody that you just feel is unstable. Do you understand? Right? That's it. So harmony, how should things flow? And every time you're interacting with that person, show an example of how those things should flow. From your point of view, don't expect them to follow because it's not their rule, it's your rule. Harmony is a judgy strength, which means that you have the rule, not them. No one else has the rule but you. Even if they have harmony high, the rules aren't the same. All right, let's move on. How do we use harmony to build a network marketing business and a coaching business? So this is my favorite subject, obviously. You know, I do this all the time. But for me, if I had harmony high, which I don't, it's very low for me. But if I had harmony high, what I would focus on is how what I sell brings harmony to people energetically and practically, right? And focus on how people will feel when they work with you or buy your products. That's what you start with. So you talk about how, like, to market your business, to generate leads, to get people coming to you to buy. Really talk about how a poor harmony is with what you sell. Even talk about how poor harmony is when people use the stuff that your products compete with, right? I'll give you a great example. There was a guy named Russell Brunson who runs a company called ClickFunnels. And when Russell Brunson first came out, he was telling the world about how when you use another product called Infusionsoft, he was saying when you use Infusionsoft, you end up getting confused and frustrated and lost. And that's not the way it should flow when you're building your business and your marketing funnels. And then he called the company Confusionsoft. See, what he did was he explained how using that product was not creating the right flow to grow your business. He said ClickFunnels is much easier, it feels better, you get more productive, you make money, you get built faster. Do you see what I mean? So what your business does, what your products do is how they restore harmony, right? Is how you build a business. So talk about how it doesn't work really well when you use the other products, but here's how when you use this product, the ones that I market and sell, this is how it flows better because this is the way things should flow, right? Use those terms. I feel, and you can even, like if you're doing videos about your product and you have harmony high, you can say, I believe blank, I believe life should flow simple. That's why I use this. Right? Like that's part of, you've heard marketing like that before, right? For me, I believe people should go throughout their day loving who they are. I think that's how life should flow. That's why I focus on my strengths every day. And if your life and your day isn't flowing authentically like that, then I want you to try taking the strengths assessment. See, if I had harmony high, that's how I would market my business. Okay, let's move on. If you have harmony high, how do we use it to what's the other thing? How to build, we did build relationships. How to be organized. Okay, now, remember, harmony is an energetic strength, not a practical one. It's not about structure, step by steps. It's more about how things feel, right? It's also a judgy strength, saying things should flow a certain way or should feel a certain way. And it's internal. So when you're looking at the word organized and you have harmony high or adaptability as well, you get to redefine what organized is. Please do not be organized the way somebody with discipline, because if you have adaptability and harmony in your top 10, I guarantee you do not have discipline in your top 10. But don't try to create organization the way somebody with discipline would. Somebody with who aren't energetics and they're not judgy. Or maybe they're judgy in a different way. But bottom line is that don't be organized. Don't try to pursue organization the way someone like that would. I want you to understand that you have your own style of organization. And if things are flowing the way you like them, then you maintain organization that way. If not, you adjust it, but not the way someone else would. Do it your way. Make your flow in your area or where you work or where you live, make it make sense to you. It's the only person it needs to make sense to because you're the only one operating in it, right? Okay, so that's how we get organized. Let's talk about the worst way to use harmony. The worst way to use harmony is basically the same worst way to use any judgy strength. It's to feel like other people should share your opinions on how things should flow. This is a fundamental violation of the purpose of strengths. The purpose of strengths is that you are infinitely unique, which means you have infinitely unique strengths, which also means you have infinitely unique rules and belief systems. Right? If you have infinitely unique strengths and you have infinitely unique rules, then there is no one on this planet that shares them. So the best way to stop thinking everyone should look at things the way that you do is start accepting that other people have opinions on how things should flow. And instead of telling them they're wrong, get to understand theirs. Understand how theirs works. Works beautifully for them, and it works beautifully for the people around them when they stick to it. And that's the worst way to use harmony, is to be overly concerned about people not sharing your opinions and how things should flow. Every 4 years, we go through this here in the United States. You know what I'm talking about. All right, let's go to the last piece. If you have harmony high or low, if you have harmony in the bottom strings, Belinda says, I think I try to force this. Yeah. So Belinda has, I'm reading the comments right now, and Belinda says, I try to force discipline, organization, and I'm always frustrated. Yeah, because it's not the way you believe things should flow, right? Doing things your way means that you get to experience joy and results. Trying to do things other people's way, you can get results, but not joy. If you just try to do things your way and not do what works, you're going to experience joy, but no results. What we want to do is understand the principles of what's the value of structure, routine, organization, and how can I do it with my strengths? And you'll get to customize your own style of organization. Okay. Belinda, yeah, message me and I can walk you through that. Getting back to the last piece, if you have harmony low, just say this out loud. Okay. If you have harmony, or you know someone that has harmony between, let's say, 28 and 34, have them or you say, I don't have to worry, the word worry. I don't have to worry about other people's feelings or opinions or concerns, especially about me. I don't have to worry about other people's feelings, opinions, right, or concerns, especially about me. Now, I'm not saying don't care. That's different. You can totally care about what other people's feelings are, their concerns, or their opinions. You can care, but don't concern yourself. Don't worry if you have harmony low. And definitely don't let that be a decider for you. If you have harmony low, chances are you have like activator or what else? Command or significance. You're trying to make a difference in the world, and to be overly concerned over what other people are thinking and feeling will keep you from being your best self. All right, that's it, my friends. So if you have harmony between 28 and 34, just say that. I don't have to worry about other people's things, feelings, thoughts, or concerns, especially when it comes to me. That's all. So I hope you all got a lot of great value from this. Thank you all for those of you that were hanging out and commenting. I really appreciate you. Helped me add a little bit more to this to help those with harmony to really get more. My challenge to you is to teach how things should flow. So have an awesome day, and we'll see you all on the next video. Bye, everybody.